I'm Wendy Bounds. Well, yesterday you saw me put my hair through the ringer trying to get that Oscar look. Today my hair and I are officially off duty. Instead, we are outside the Regal Cinemas here in the heart of New York City, where the Oscars are the buzz among all the moviegoers. Will silent film sensation The Artist sweep the nominations, or is George Clooney's Descendants going to upset everyone? We're going to go right now to Rachel Dodes. She's got the 101 on all the Best Picture nominees.
The Artist is a film that is black and white and silent and directed by a little-known Frenchman with a difficult-to-pronounce name, Michel Hazanavicius. And most of the actors in it are French, except for John Goodman. So it seems like a very esoteric kind of movie, yet it is the frontrunner in this year's Oscar race. It's the frontrunner for a variety of reasons. Dazzling costumes, an original score, an adorable little Jack Russell Terrier. I think most importantly it has the backing of Harvey Weinstein, who has a lot of experience marketing Oscar films, and last year he showed his talents by sneaking up from behind with the King's Speech and beating the frontrunner, The Social Network. And there hasn't been a silent movie in decades, and I think that it's caused such a sensation, and it's really a foreign film.
I have to go around and tell people what's happening, family and a few close friends.
I don't want to talk about Mom with anyone.
Look, whatever you two fought about, you have to drop it. Grow up.
You really don't have a clue, do you? Dad, Mom was cheating on you.
The Descendants is also considered to be a serious contender in the Best Picture battle. It's a film that's set in Hawaii, and it stars George Clooney in an unusual role. He plays a father who discovers that his wife has been cheating on him as she lies in a coma, and you would think that that would be an incredibly depressing situation, and it's true that it is, but the film still manages to be very funny and captures some of the absurdity of these very grim situations.
This is Sid. He's gonna be with me. I'll be a lot more civil with him around.
What's up, bro? Don't ever do that to me again.
The Descendants is Alexander Payne's first film since 2004's Sideways. So, and he's, has a huge fan base. And The Descendants won the Golden Globes for Best Picture. And, winning the Golden Globe isn't necessarily like a big indicator of the film that's going to ultimately win the Oscar.
Now, all eyes will be on the red carpet, but not all of us can pull off those Oscar caliber fashions, or can we? This week on Asset Allocations, we learn how to dress like a star without a Hollywood-sized paycheck. Still, those shoes did look pretty cool. And you know who else is looking cool? Romeo, as in Romeo Santos, the Wall Street Journal's rock and pop critic Jim Fusilli. He sat down with Latin music's biggest star. Thank you.
I want to talk about bachata, of course. I want to talk about the album. But I just have to ask you, you grew up in the Bronx, and you came downtown by the subway all the time, I'm sure. And many times you passed Madison Square Garden. Now your name is up in lights. How does that feel?
I mean, it feels really good. The first concert I ever attended, well, it was more like a show, like the circus, Ringley, Barnum and Bailey Circus, yeah. And I never visualized myself performing in such a huge, famous arena, but, you know, I really worked really hard to get here, so, I mean, I guess I'm really excited.
And in addition to hard work, I think you took a little bit of a risk early in your career. I mean, you and the guys in Aventura really reinvented bachata music. Is that safe to say?
Well, yeah, I mean, what I try to do as an artist is reinvent my style, you know, in every production. And in Aventura, what I try to do, well, what we try to do is break the rules, you know, the rules of the genre, you know, and we were the first ones to bring in the Spanglish, the fusion and guitars. You know, we were pretty much the first ones to do that.
And I hear on this album, you're really touching upon so many different areas. There's so many different ways for us to meet you and to spend time with you. You have some music that's very close to traditional bachata, and you have some music that's very close to traditional dance music.
Yeah, this production is pretty much, you know, very diverse. You know, like I didn't want to abandon bachata because I feel like when you're doing it for so long and you're, you know, functioning, why change something that's really, you know, is going well for you? So in this first solo album, what I wanted to do is kind of like, I wanted to offer people new things, but kind of like keep it like a 60-40%, you know, 60% bachata and 40%, you know, just new things. Like I have some pop in this album. I have R&B collaborations with Lil Wayne, Usher, and urban music, you know, something that, you know, I feel my fans are gonna appreciate is the fact that this production is kind of like what they're already used to, but it offers them new things that is kind of like surprising, and it allows me to show, you know, a different side of interpreter. You know, like, okay, like this is what Romeo could do as well, not just sing bachata.
Yeah, I remember the first time we met, you had such an interesting viewpoint on crossover. I guess I saw it in terms of commerciality, but you saw it that if you created a kind of music that was distinctive and true, that people would come to you, that you wouldn't have to cross over to them, that they would come to you. And that seems to be happening.
Well, yeah, that was what I wanted to do, you know, with Usher. I felt like, you know, there's a lot of artists that do the crossover thing, and it goes very well for them, but I feel like it was gonna be more unique, you know, from my perspective, in my case, you know, to be able to capture a new audience, but doing the same thing that that my fans already know, which is bachata. And I had the opportunity to work with Usher, which I admire and I respect so much, but I wanted to do something, you know, that was gonna allow me to capture a new crowd, but have my own fans say, well, he didn't sell out.
This is a small. If you're throwing an Oscar party this weekend, you want to make some Oscar-worthy snacks. Now, why not go one step further and make them thematic? Kelsey Hubbard, she has tips on how to make food that was actually inspired by this year's nominees.
Every great party deserves a theme, so this year for the Oscars, we wanted to show you some dishes inspired by some of the Best Picture nominees. I'm Kelsey Hubbard, and I'm here with Aaliyah Lee Kong, the culinary creative director at Janoon, a New York City restaurant, and you are famous for your spices, and you're going to show us how we can spice up our party if we're hosting one for the Academy Awards by some dishes that the movies represent. We're going to start off with The Descendants from Hawaii. Tell us what you've got here.
Actually, for Hawaii, I had a personal addiction to a Hawaiian popcorn a couple years back that a friend of mine from there introduced me to. And basically what it is popcorn with homemade furikake. That's the spice blend. And furikake has roasted seaweed, sesame seeds, a little sugar and salt, so it has like a salty, sweet quality, and bonito. Sometimes it has dried eggs, different things, but I make my own.
Where do you find these spices?
You have to go to a specialty Asian or Japanese store. They have all of these, and they actually have pre-made furikake, so if you're just too scared, you can just mix it all from that.
That's
and
easy.
It's very easy. There's a little butter, there's soy sauce, and then there are these little rice crackers that I love.
It's good because it's kind of sweet too. It's not too spicy.
It's like kettle corn, kind of.
All right, we're going to move on to The Artist.
Okay.
Which is the silent movie here. So how did you get inspired to create a dish from that movie?
Basically, The Artist being black and white, I kind of went in the other direction and wanted to create something colorful and bright and flavorful that sort of speaks for itself.
And the movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I went with a ceviche that I had learned in Peru. It's basically a nice white flaky fish that I've cubed up. And then I add to that lime juice, preferably key lime juice, a little chopped red onion, a little chopped red pepper. You can use a chili or you can use a bell pepper, depending on your heat tolerance, and some cilantro and salt.
And do you eat it in the lettuce leaf or do you
And then
eat it off?
I eat it in the lettuce leaf personally because it's just easy to pick up.
Yeah.
But it's also something you could serve in a glass, or there's a number of elegant ways you can serve ceviche.
And for people who aren't familiar with pink peppercorn, what it tastes? Is it spicy? Is it not spicy?
It's actually not a peppercorn itself. It's called that. It's really a dried berry. And it has sort of a floral quality to it and a little bit of a bite, like a really gentle black pepper.
All right, great. And when you prepare your florets here for the Tree of Life piece, tell us how you prepare them, because it looks like they've got spices already on them.
Yeah, for crudité, I'm not someone that likes to boil. I like to just throw it in the oven it takes 6 minutes in the oven at 400 degrees. So I just cut the florets, a little olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then I sprinkle whatever spice blend you want. I sprinkled the za'atar right on top and threw it in the oven for 6-7 minutes. And I'm serving it with a yogurt dipping sauce, so it's very easy for people to pick up, dip in, and eat.
And again, the za'atar, you can find it at most specialty shops?
You can find it at most Middle Eastern stores, and it just depends on the region that they want to. They have Lebanese za'atar, Syrian za'atar, Jordan za'atar, but I just use thyme, ground sumac, and sesame seeds. That's it.
Too bad the movie Drive wasn't nominated. That could have made an interesting dish, like roadkill maybe. Of course, you're going to need the perfect cocktail this weekend. And something that exudes more Hollywood glamour. Now, Elva Ramirez, she has a great idea on this week's After Hours.
Welcome to WSJ After Hours. Why should Hollywood have all the fun? For your Oscars party, try the French 65, which combines the sparkle of champagne with the glamour of French Cointreau.
Of course, I'm French, so champagne is a part of my life.
So you have champagne like all the time?
Yes, I can have champagne all the time.
So you don't need an excuse?
No, and I really enjoy it. It's very easy, but the champagne is very delicate. You don't need to put a lot of things to do a nice cocktail with champagne. Sometimes the most simple things are better than something too complicated. I'm going to start to put some ice on my mixing glass. Perfect. I'm going to use 1 ounce of Cointreau, so it's a delicious orange liquor. To balance the Cointreau, I put some Angostura bitters in my dropper. I'm going to put just 6 drops. Right. Mixing the glass. Just to refresh the base. So I'm pouring the Cointreau with the Angostura in the glass. And I'm going to complete with champagne. So it's a very simple drink, but to put the flavor of the Cointreau is the best way to enjoy it. Voilà. Oh. Je vous en prie.
If you like the drink or you have any suggestions, do get in touch. Send me a tweet. This is Elva Ramirez for WSJ After Hours. Cheers.
And that's it for today's off-duty show. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the Oscars. Now, I'm going to go catch up on a little last-minute viewing. I'll see you Monday.